RiverBender.com's coverage of this game is sponsored by St. Anthony's Health Center, innovation, commitment, compassion. Gerard Fisher American Family Insurance, all your protection under one roof. First Cloverleaf Bank, we're better together. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. Weber Granite City Chevrolet. Alton Sports Tap, sports, food, and good times. United Methodist Village, where living is easy. Lisa Funk, the Riverbend's top producing broker year after year. Chuck West Agency, helping business owners for 46 years. Riverbend Chiropractic Center, dedicated to caring for infants, children, and adults. And by Andy's Auto Body, we can fix anything.
Who's sang the high part and who's sang the low part?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to high school basketball here on Z1570. Game number 2 of our doubleheader. I hope you enjoyed game number 1, but we're in CM for game number 2, where the CM Eagles are set to host the East Alton-Wood River Oilers. The starters for the Oilers being announced, it'll be Kevin Tharp, Brandon Corey, Kyle Scott, Kobe Hall, and Lucas Cobb, the 5 starters for the East Alton-Wood River Oilers.
Civic Memorial Eagles ready to get their introductions underway, but first I want to congratulate 4 wrestlers who were at the sectionals today, and their names will be coming out earlier or a little bit later on in this show, but they have advanced to the sectionals. Want to give them proper credit, so we'll announce their full credentials when we get back.
Well, they won sectionals and are advancing to state, so that's outstanding for the Eagle wrestling team. Now the starters for the CM basketball team, number 22, Jack McKinney, and number 24, Thomas Wolfel, number 31, John Hill, number 34, Zach Standerfer, and number 21, Tim Kruckenberg, the starters for the CM Eagles. And we'll have the tip after this. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports. Back to Bethalto, Illinois. Dennis Laird alongside Doug Jenkins, and it's the CM Eagles and the East Alton-Wood River Oilers set to hook it up here tonight in Bethalto. The Oilers on a roll. They won 3 straight. They have a record of 9-16 coming into this one. The Eagles at 8-16, so evenly matched as far as records go on paper, Doug.
Indeed they are, and both would like to get a little momentum as we are winding down the season. We're in the last couple of weeks before regionals, sectionals, and such begin. And, you know, once you get into the postseason, throw away the regular season record. If you've got momentum, you've got a shot.
Tim Kruckenberg in the center circle wins the tip against Colby Hall in the CM Eagles control. It's Jack McKinney across the timeline on the left side. He'll work it to Hill, who drives the baseline off the glass and in to start things off for the Eagles.
And now the Eagles go into the full court press. This is something that worked effectively against the East Alton-Wood River Oilers when we saw them earlier this month against Marquette High School.
And the Eagles create a turnover right away as Kyle Scott's pass intercepted. Down the floor they go to Zach Standerfer, who can't get the shot off underneath the basket. And back the other way come the East Alton-Wood River Oilers with Kevin Tharp setting up the offense as he crosses the timeline. Left side to Brandon Corey. Now Tharp's going to try the right side. Here's Kyle Scott with the basketball. Inside, Colby Hall trying to get it down to big Lucas Cobb, but it's tipped away. Picked up on the floor by Jack McKinney. Headed up the right side. He'll turn around, give it to Standifer for three. Behind him, and it's good.
Nice touch from just outside the arc, and Standifer has given the Eagles a 5-0 lead.
Eagles back in the press. Kyle Scott works it down the floor to Brandon Corey, who gets it to the baseline. Colby Hall underneath the Lucas Cobb, off the glass and in.
Well, Lucas Cobb used his size to his advantage down there that time, cleared out the lane, got him a shot off, and there you go.
McKinney penetrates the lane, turns around, gets it to Wolfel, who tries the three and rattles in and out of bounds, and the Eagles will maintain possession as that went off. The East Alton-Wood River Oilers, Lucas Cobb. So John Hill set to throw it in from the sideline for CM. He gets it into McKinney, and McKinney will reset the CM offense at the top of the key. Goes to the right side to Wolfel. Wolfel looking underneath. Comes back out top to McKinney. He'll drive down the lane. McKinney trapped, but he'll turn around and get it to Kruckenberg. Back out top. Now McKinney back out there. Works it around to Wolfel. Now to John Hill in the corner. Hill back out top. Wolfel for three. And it's no good. The rebound comes down to Brandon Corey. Kevin Tharp will bring it up the floor for the Oilers as we approach the 6-minute mark. 5-2 in favor of CM. Right side is Brandon Corey with the basketball. Down into the corner to Scott. Here's Colby Hall now near the paint. Double team, goes ahead and takes the shot and drains it.
Didn't see anybody open, anybody that he could get the ball to. Said, well, I'll just take care of it myself.
That makes it a 5-4 CM lead as they work it down inside, but it gets stripped away by Kyle Scott, who's headed up the floor. Scott works it to Corey, who's rejected. John Hall coming from behind to knock that one out of Corey's hands. So the Oilers will throw it in from underneath their own basket. Corey going deep to Colby Hall at the top of the key. Cobb out there now with it. He'll drop it off to Corey, who's back out top. Tharp now between the circles, goes right side to Kyle Scott. Scott into the lane, gets it tipped away from him, picked up by Tim Kruckenberg, and he'll work it out to McKinney across the timeline for CM. Right side, McKinney driving. Starts to head for the corner, now works it to the free throw line, down the lane, and he'll draw a foul. It looks like this one will be on big number 55, Lucas Cobb.
That'll be foul number 1 of the ball game for Lucas Cobb. And we'll have a substitution coming into the game. That is Detrays McElroy, number 42.
The Eagles set to throw it in. Wolfel gets it into McKinney. Now he turns around, gets it back to Wolfel in the corner. Out top McKinney with it. Now Hill works it around to Wolfel. Inside they go to McKinney. Near the paint, double team, fires it across to Wolfel, who's got a three, and it's short, no good. A rebound comes down to Colby Hall. Here come the Oilers down by 1. 4:53 on the clock. Corey down to the corner to Kevin Tharp. Back out top. Brandon Corey with it. Works it around to McElroy. Will feed it inside to Hall. Back out to Corey now. Now McElroy with it on the right side. Here's Corey firing it into the corner to Tharp. Tharp inside the arc. Gets it to Colby Hall. His shot no good. The rebound bounces around. Comes down to Cobb, who will put it over the rim and in.
Give the assist to McElroy on that. He was driving the lane and managed to tip it into the big man Cobb's hands.
Here's Wolfel out top to McKinney. Jack McKinney left side to John Hill. Hill to McKinney, top of the key. He'll drive down to the free throw line and end up, looks like he will draw a foul.
Foul Corey.
That could have easily been a traveling call as well.
But he draws a foul. He'll head up to the free stripe. Shoot free throws with his team down by 1. And McKinney misses the first one. First free throw of the night. McKinney misses it to keep the score right at 6-5 in favor of the Oilers. Jack McKinney. The sophomore will have another. This one he'll drain to tie things up at 6. And McKinney will have a seat as the Oilers throw it in to Kevin Tharp. Tharp right back to Corey. The Eagles in the press. Josh Hill into the ball game for CM. Here's Kevin Tharp, and he'll lose it. Kruckenberg with the steal, but Tharp steals it right back. So Tharp between the circles feeds it inside to Hall. Down low to Cobb, who rips it away from the CM player. Almost loses it out of bounds. Saves it right to Wolfel. Wolfel across the timeline, down the corner, Josh Hill, right underneath the basket. There's Kruckenberg for an easy lay-in.
Nice crisp passing. Didn't have to put the ball on the floor one time once they got past the half-court line.
Brandon Corey will get it to Tharp, now to Colby Hall, who's trapped on the sideline, but he gets free. It looks like timeout going to be called, though, by the Oilers to make sure they maintain possession with 3:31 on the clock, first quarter. The Eagles lead 8-6 over the Oilers. We'll be back after this. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
St. Anthony's Health Center, located in Alton, is serving the Riverbend area with quality patient care and comfort through comprehensive outpatient rehabilitative therapy services, advanced diagnostic technology, and emergency services, while also providing community education classes that benefit those of all ages. All brought to you by St. Anthony's Health Center's dedicated and caring health professionals.
Here we go. Welcome back to CM High School. Dennis Laird alongside Doug Jenkins. Here's Colby Hall feeding it down low to Lucas Cobb after the throw, and it gets stripped away. Kruckenberg comes up with it on the floor, and he'll work it to Josh Hill, who tried to get a foul call there. Now down the floor they go to Wolfel, to John Hill in the paint, but they're going to call him for traveling, and they'll turn it right back over to the Oilers, who trail 8-6.
Been quite a few turnovers so far in this first quarter of play, 6 apiece. And we still have 3.5 minutes or so to play in the first quarter.
Evan Tharp with the basketball, works it to Brandon Corey up the right side. There's Cobb wide open under the basket, and he'll lay it in.
That was easy, too, for Cobb. He was all alone underneath the hoop, just put it up off the glass and in.
Wolfel at the top of the key, drops it off to Josh Hill. He'll set up the CM offense, right side. And now around to Thomas Wolfel. Wolfel looking inside. Here's Steemack with it. He'll drive, kick it out. And driving the baseline is Hill. Kicking it out to Kruckenberg near the free throw line. His shot no good. And here come the Oilers back the other way. Kevin Tharp crosses the timeline, sets up the Oiler play. Works it right side to Corey. Right back to him now. Bounce pass near the free throw line to Hall, and reaching in on him. A foul going to be called on CM. They'll call this on Josh Hill, excuse me.
And that'll be his first foul of the night. First foul for Civic Memorial tonight as well.
So John Hill and Wolfel will grab a seat for CM. Looks like Standifer and McKinney back in there. Kyle Scott set to throw it in for the East Alton-Wood River Oilers. A Spurlock into the ball game for them. Here's Kyle Scott in the corner. Back out top to Kevin Tharp. Driving right side, McElroy with it. The Trace works it back out top to Tharp. Who'll get it to Colby Hall at the free throw line. Hall turns around, gets it right back to Tharp. Tharp drives, kicks it out to McElroy, tries the baseline, and he's going to be called for traveling as he heads down the baseline. Trying to go between two CM defenders there. So the Eagles get it back, score tied at 8. And they'll work it quickly down the floor to Steemack, driving the baseline off the glass and in.
And that'll stretch the lead just a little bit. It's 10-8 with inside 2 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Oilers having a tough time breaking the press. There's McElroy and a tip ball off Spurlock. I think Spurlock thought Kyle Scott was still behind him, and Scott had broke the opposite direction, and that ball tipped out of bounds. Here's McKinney with it for CM as he crosses the timeline. They'll work it left side. Josh Hill now whistles blowing, a foul going to be called. And they're going to call this one on McElroy. DeTrace McElroy going to get the call for the foul. And now Corey going to come in for McElroy. Tim Kruckenberg going to take a rest. It's John Hill back in there for CM. Josh Hill gets in the backcourt to Jack McKinney. McKinney will hand it off to John Hill. Hill drives left side. Now whistles blow. A foul going to be called. Pushing foul away from the basketball. They're going to call that one on Standifer of CM.
That's his first foul of the night. A moment ago, you may have heard the PA announcer call the foul on Anthony Swearingen, but it is DeTrace McElroy. They have switched spots on the roster. Same number.
Kevin Tharp works it to Brandon Corey. Back out top. Now Tharp has it. In the corner to Corey. His jumper on the way is no good. And the rebound comes down to Spurlock, who fires it out top. It overthrows Tharp out of bounds. And Head coach Adam Miller with a save over there on the sideline.
That was a crisp pass right to the bench.
So the Eagles will get it back with a 2-point lead and 1:05 to go first quarter. It's like Woolley into the ball game now for CM. Tyler Woolley will throw it in. Into the backcourt, it's Jack McKinney to bring it across the timeline with about a minute to play. He'll work it right side. Now comes back out top. Standerford to John Hill. Hill driving in the paint. He gets the ball pulled away from him, and then jump ball called. And the possession arrow in favor of the East Alton-Wood River Oilers. Here's Wolfel coming back into the ball game as Standerford will check out. Corey set to throw it in for the Oilers with 51.8 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Down by 2, Kyle Scott gets it to Tharp. Tharp near the timeline, crosses it to Corey. Back out top, Tharp with it. Tharp driving right side near the baseline, gets it to Spurlock, who's inside, puts it off the glass and in, and draws a foul.
They'll have a chance to put another point on the board with just a handful of seconds left, 35.7.
Good time that time. The Oilers doing a nice job of breaking that press and getting the ball down low to Spurlock, who was able to get the 2 and now stands at the line trying to get the free shot, and he misses that one off the front of the rim. John Hill comes down with it. Hill crossing the timeline. Works his way down the paint. A spin move. Shot off, no good. Tipped around. Kobe Hall grabbed it. Hill rips it away from him. Back inside, they get it to Steemack. He'll kick it out to Jack McKinney, and he's going to settle things down. 17 seconds to go. Here's Wolfel. Left side, John Hill with it. Hill back out top, Steemack. Steemack dribbles right side, hands it off to Wolfel. Wolfel at the free throw line finds John Hill, who drives with 3 seconds left, lets it go and rolls it over the rim and in to put the final 2 on the board before the quarter comes to an end and gives the CM Eagles a 12-10 lead over the East Alton-Wood River Oilers after 1 quarter of play. We'll be back after this. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Take a look at the latest J.D. Power & Associates insurance certifications for customer satisfaction. Know what each certified agency has in common?
Each is with American Family Insurance.
In fact, American Family Agencies are the first agency certified by J.D. Power & Associates.
According to our policyholders, our agents deliver an outstanding customer experience.
American Family Insurance.
All your protection
under one roof.
Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062 or stop by 3014 Godfrey Road.
Yeah, let's see if we can grab Steve Carey. Welcome back to CM High School. Dennis Laird alongside Doug Jenkins. The Eagles with the basketball to start the second quarter. They work it into the corner to Josh Hill. Back out top now. McKinney around to Wolfel. And now John Hill with it, working on Brandon Corey. Back out top, Wolfel driving. Kicks it into the corner to Josh Hill. Hill finds Kruckenberg, and he gets rejected by Lucas Cobb. That ball knocked out of bounds. The Eagles will throw it in from under their own basket.
You know, Cobb didn't really have to work very hard to block that one. He just put that hand of his up, and the trajectory was right and knocked it right out of bounds. Slows things down, gives CM a chance to reset.
Josh Hill now set to throw it in from underneath his own basket. And he'll get it into John Hill at the free throw line. Kicks it out to Wolfel for 3, and it's good. Wolfel drains the 3.
Wolfel with a nice touch on that shot. And now CM is back into the full court press.
Here's Kyle Scott hitting it to Corey, who tries to get around Josh Hill, and Hill is going to be called. Nope, they're going to...
That's 10 seconds right there.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to call Josh Hill for a minute for a foul, but my bad. 10-second violation, so the press paying off for CM. 15-10, the Eagles lead. Is Woolley going to take it across the timeline for the Eagles? He'll go right side. Thomas Wolfel. Out top, Josh Hill. Back to Wolfel. Going to let the 3 go, and it's good. Back-to-back threes for Wolfel. An 18-10 lead now. 6 quick points coming from the 3 ball, and Thomas Wolfel. Here's Brandon Corey on the left side. Driving, and they're going to call Wolfel now for a foul.
That should be his first one of the night. Only 4 fouls now for the CM Eagles.
Foul Wolfel is first, the team's 4th.
And that compares to 3 fouls for the East Alton-Wood River Oilers right now. So it's been a fairly non-physical game.
Kevin Tharp takes the inbound pass back from Hall, and now they'll work it out top. Here's Corey on the left side. Top of the key, Lucas Cobb. Here's Kyle Scott with a shot on the way. No good. Rebound, Corey back up and in.
Nice second effort by Corey. It was almost a pass as the ball wound up right in his hands as he came under the basket.
Woolley at the top of the key. Works it to Kruckenberg. Will try the left side. There's John Hill driving into the paint and reaching in on him. A foul going to be called, I believe, on... Well, they're going to call that on Kevin Tharp.
For nearly 120 years, First Cloverleaf Bank has played a vital role in shaping the history of Edwardsville and Glen Carbon, putting our customers, our people, and our community first. It's good to be first. First Cloverleaf Bank.
Don Tharp is first, the team scored.
6:14 on the clock and 18-12. CM lead as Wolfel gets set to throw it in. Gets into to Josh Hill. Hill fires it out top. Woolley back to Hill. To Woolley. Josh Hill with it on the right side. Finds Wolfel down low. He tries to go over Cobb. Can't get it to fall, and Hall comes down with a weak side board. Kevin Tharp up the floor. Crosses the timeline. 5:53 before halftime as Hall takes it. Now right back to Tharp. Tharp will get it to Hall. Hall looking down low for Cobb. Finds him off the glass and in.
Well executed play. You can tell they worked on that during practice during the week.
Here's Woolley working it to Josh Hill. Around to John Hill. Now Thomas Wolfel has it. Wolfel looking. Finds Kruckenberg. Top of the key. Kruckenberg driving right side. Hands it off to John Hill. John Hill to the paint. Loses the basketball. Lucas Cobb comes up with it. 18-14 now the Eagle lead. Here's Kyle Scott driving to the paint. Kicks it out. Corey with it back to the top of the key. Kevin Tharp. Tharp drives the right side. Looking for help now. Finds Kyle Scott. Scott tries the left side. Here's Lucas Cobb, top of the key. Now right side, Kevin Tharp. Tharp comes out to Kyle Scott between the circles. Scott will work his way around to the right side and get it back to Tharp. Tharp now trying to find an opening. Can't. Turns around, gets it to Hall. Will find Scott now to Cobb. Down low off the glass. It doesn't fall for him. And John Hill comes down with the board. Looks like Tim Kruckenberg hurt on the other end. And traveling going to be called on the opposite end. But Kruckenberg grabbed his right shoulder, or maybe it's actually his left shoulder, and headed straight to the bench. So the Eagles will send in Steemack here. 4:28 on the clock. Traveling called against CM, so the Oilers will have the basketball.
It's fairly even as far as turnovers tonight. East Alton-Wood River has one more than CM at this point. Both have a bunch, though.
Kevin Tharp at the top of the key goes right side to Brandon Corey. Corey now back to the top of the key to Tharp. In the corner, Corey going to let it fly, and it rolls in and out. Standiford pulls down the board. Zach Standiford out to Josh Hill. On the left side, Steemack. Inside they go. Standiford with a little hook, no good. Lucas Cobb with the board. Here's Kevin Tharp bringing it up the floor for the Oilers. Left side, Kyle Scott with it. Kyle Scott looking for some help, fires it into the paint. To Hall, who kicks it right back out to Tharp. Tharp weaves around, gets it to Hall. Now Hall goes right back to Kevin Tharp. Into the corner, it's Brandon Corey. Corey cross court to Kyle Scott. He's going to drive the baseline, dump it inside to Lucas Cobb, and no shot. Cobb going to draw the foul.
He's hoping, and when I say he, I'm speaking of Steemack, hoping for his for a jump ball, but that was not the case. Looked fairly clean from up here, but then again, the guys calling the game are right there in front of it.
They get it into Colby Hall at the top of the key, and he'll work it to Tharp on the right side. Tharp gets it knocked away by McKinney. McKinney down the floor will draw the foul by Corey as he takes it to the hole at the 3:18 mark of quarter number 2. Looks like Kruckenberg feeling a little better. He's back up off the bench now and getting set to come back in. John Hill going to join him as McKinney steps up to the line. 18-14 CM lead as McKinney lets it go and hits the first free throw.
In come the substitutions. 19-14, as you said, is the score with 3:18 to play in the first half.
McKinney will have another. Long look, lets it go, and this one's no good. A rebound by CM. Kruckenberg off the bench to pull down the board, and they work it around to Wolfel, lets the three go, no good. Standifer with a weak side board. And they'll find John Hill, they'll reset the CM offense. Couple of big offensive boards there by CM.
They get 3 chances on that, and that's something that you cannot allow if you're on the East Alton-Wood River Eagles team.
Here's John Hill coming back out top. He'll go right side to Thomas Wolfel. Wolfel to McKinney. Now Wolfel gets it back. There's Hill feeding it inside. Kruckenberg in trouble in traffic and gets it ripped away from him. Hall comes up with it, and he'll drop it off to Kevin Tharp with 2:35 on the clock. Kyle Scott on the right side. Scott looking for somebody. Finds Lucas Cobb at the free throw line. Now he'll get it to Tharp right behind him. Tharp with McKinney all over him, and Wolfel gets it to Hall. Down low, here's Spurlock with it in double trouble and misses, but Lucas Cobb there to clean it up with a putback.
Lucas Cobb, a force here tonight, showing that he is indeed proving his strength underneath the boards.
Thomas Wolfel. They'll work it to Hill. Here's McKinney at the top of the key. Back to Wolfel for three, and it's no good. A rebound comes down low to CM, and they'll try to force it back up. Standifer does, gets it blocked by Cobb, and here's Kyle Scott on the right side. Out top to Tharp. Kevin Tharp looks over the Oiler offense. Now drives left side. Cut off by McKinney. Turns around, gets it to Spurlock. He'll get it right back to him. Now Spurlock at the free throw line. Fakes it, gets it to Colby Hall. On the baseline, his shot no good. And the rebound bounces around, picked up by Jack McKinney. McKinney quickly up the floor, pushing it. On the right side, into the paint. Turns around, fires to Standifer into the corner. Wolfel with it. McKinney now with it back at the top of the key. And Oiler fans wanted traveling on McKinney that last time. Now, violation. Foul going to be called against CM. John Hill will get the call. And the Oilers will get the basketball with 1:05 to go before halftime.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year. And no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at WeberGC.com.
Kevin Tharp will take the ball back from Colby Hall after he throws it in and across the timeline. Into the paint. Colby Hall with it. Hall back to Tharp. Back in they go to Hall. Feeds it down low to Cobb over everybody to pull it down. His shot no good. And then foul is going to be called on the rebound. They're going to call Lucas Cobb for going over the back to pull down the offensive board.
He's doing all he could to try and get another 2 points on the board as they are down by 3 right now with time running out here in the first half.
Trez McElroy back into the ball game as CM brings it in. John Hill to Josh Hill. Right side Wolfel back to Josh Hill. 38 seconds on the clock as McKinney touches it and works it to Standifer down to Hill. John Hill shot no good. McElroy with a weak side board. 30 seconds on the clock. Oilers down by 3. Kyle Scott crossing the free throw line. Now loses the basketball out of bounds.
Went right off his foot, didn't it?
It happens. And a turnover leaves 21 seconds on the clock for CM. Jack McKinney will cross the timeline with 15 seconds to play in the half. working against Kevin Tharp. Oilers in the man-to-man. Here's John Hill. Down low to Kruckenberg off the glass and in.
Beautiful pass. The Eagles have just a second left to go.
There's a shot at the buzzer, no good, and that's how the half comes to an end with the CM Eagles leading the East Alton-Wood River Oilers 21-16 at halftime. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
RiverBender.com's coverage of this game is sponsored by St. Anthony's Health Center, Innovation, Commitment, Compassion, Gerard Fisher American Family Insurance, all your protection under one roof. First Cloverleaf Bank, we're better together. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. Weber Granite City Chevrolet. Alton Sports Tap, sports, food, and good times. United Methodist Village, where living is easy. Lisa Funk, the Riverbend's top producing broker year after year. Chuck West Agency, helping business owners for 46 years. Riverbend Chiropractic Center, dedicated to caring for infants, children, and adults. And by Andy's Auto Body, we can fix anything.
Start the second half with the Eagles leading 21-16 over the East Alton-Wood River Oilers. But first, we want to talk about those wrestlers, Doug, that moved on to state.
Yeah, moving on to state from the CM Eagles. David Pierce in the 103 weight pound class. In the 112-pound class, Brandon Snyder and T.J. Woolner in the 171-pound class. They all won their weight divisions. Finishing second in his weight division was Chris Williams in the 119. As you said, all four will be advancing to state, so congratulations to those gentlemen.
The Oilers start with the basketball, working inside to Cobb. Now back to Kevin Tharp. Here's Kyle Scott with it. He'll get it to Lucas Cobb, who feeds it down low to Hall. This shot no good. Rebound comes down to John Hill. And traveling going to be called on John Hill. Hill thought he was fouled. Some of the Eagles fans did as well. Kruckenberg trying to get a foul call. And they're going to call traveling against John Hill.
It's been some interesting play calling on the far end of the court tonight, Dennis.
They've let him play tonight. Not many fouls. Inbounds comes to Corey. Corey down to the corner. Kevin Tharp with it now. Tharp inside to Colby Hall. Cross courts it. Kyle Scott with it. Scott into the corner to Corey, then gets it right back. McKinney going to strip the ball away from Kyle Scott. He heads up the floor trying to go around Tharp, and the charge going to be called. Tharp gets down there and gets set to draw the charge.
And he gave up his body for that, but that's what it takes sometimes.
Corey's set to throw it in to Kyle Scott. He'll get it to Tharp, right back to Scott, and they'll cross the timeline. Scott to Colby Hall on the baseline. His jumper on the way is no good. Cobb with a rebound, but a foul going to be called on Cobb for going over the back.
Second time that's happened, and I mentioned if he starts to get into foul trouble, the whole team could get into trouble, and now he has three early in the second half.
Here's McKinney crossing the timeline for CM. Tries the right side, now works it to the free throw line in the paint, runs into Cobb, kicks it out to Wolfle. Now Standiford for three, and it's good.
Beautiful rainbow arc on that shot. Always gives it a better chance.
Second three of the night for Standiford. Fourth three of the night for CM is McKinney now with a steal, but he can't hang on to it before it goes out of bounds.
Did everything he could, but almost wound up in some spectators' laps down there. Don't want to do that.
24-16 now the CM lead as they started off with a three. Here's Tharp getting it to Colby Hall. He's going to go right back. Now Corey with it. Oilers need to cross the timeline. They do by firing it into Hall. And he's going to get the ball stolen away by Hill. Standiford ends up picking it up after Hill goes to the floor. And now Wolfle has it on the right side. McKinney back to Wolfle. Wolfle looking for some help. Comes to McKinney, top of the key. Here's Kruckenberg with it. Now right back to McKinney. McKinney to reset the offense. He'll work it to Kruckenberg. He's going to try the right side. John Hill with it. To Wolfle. Wolfle going to let the three go, and it's good. His third three of the night. second three to start the half for CM to give them a 27-16 lead as we start quarter number 3, 5:41 on the clock. We'll take a break and be back after this. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
When making the biggest investment of your life, you should expect the experience, professionalism, and commitment of a full-time realtor. Lisa Funk will provide you with results you can count on. Satisfaction guaranteed. Only agent in town that offers a free moving van when you buy or sell. Her experience is not expensive, it's priceless. So look for Lisa for all your real estate needs at 910 Funk or www.lisafunk.com. RiverBender's top producing broker year after year.
Welcome back to CM High School. Dennis Laird alongside Doug Jenkins. Oilers with the basketball, and CM comes out with a couple three balls to stretch it to 27-16. Here's Corey with it. And he'll get it to Tharp between the circles. Back to Corey. Down low, Cobb with it. Triple teamed. And he's going to be fouled. Eagles just closed down on Cobb once they get the ball to him. And McKinney going to get called for the hack. Corey to throw it in. Corey bounces it off the CM player. Gets it right back. Into the corner. Tharp with it. Three, no good. Cobb with a rebound. Cobb back up. No. And this time Kruckenberg with the board for CM. McKinney across the timeline. Tharp reaching in on him. And they're going to call a foul now on Kevin Tharp. 27-16 the CM lead as they'll throw it in from the sideline. It looks like Bobby Spurlock up off the bench to take the place of Colby Hall. 5:11 on the clock. Third quarter action. CM with the ball and the lead. John Hill will bring it across the timeline. Hill drops it off. Here's Standifer trying for another three, and he does. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Standifer on fire right now, and that has almost doubled the CM lead.
Second three for Standifer in the quarter. Third in the game. Here's Tharp with it. Top of the key. Bounce pass off the leg of the CM player out of bounds.
Massive substitutions coming in now for the Eagles.
Steemack, Josh Hall, and Tyler Woolley all in the ball game. So three new players into the game for CM. And the Oilers get it into Spurlock. Top of the key is Brandon Corey. Corey left side to Tharp. Tharp inside the arc. Will get it to Spurlock, who works it to Corey. His shot no good. And the ball out of bounds off of the East Alton-Wood River Oilers. So the Eagles get it back with a 30-16 lead. Oilers still looking for their first points of the second half. 4:20 on the clock, third quarter action. CM will travel with the basketball. Josh Hill called for traveling. So the Oilers get it right back. It looks like McElroy now going to come in.
McElroy in. Corey is out.
And McElroy will throw it in. He'll get it into Tharp in the backcourt. Right back to McElroy. McElroy to Tharp. Tharp will cross the timeline. Almost loses it. Drops it off to Kyle Scott. Scott with a jumper from the baseline. No good. Rebound, Spurlock. And whistle's blowing, a foul called. This is going to be on John Hill for going over the back.
Foul on John Hill.
That's his second foul of the night. Third foul on the team for the half.
So Kyle Scott will throw it in. He finds Kevin Tharp. Tharp sets the Oiler offense. Goes right back to Kyle Scott on the left side. Scott inside the arc. Tries to get it to McElroy. And throws it through his hands. Out of bounds. And the Eagles get the basketball back. Oilers still looking for points here in the second half. Been shut out so far.
And it's not a turnover issue. As we mentioned earlier, there's been a lot of turnovers in this game, but both teams are fairly even. East Alton-Wood River has a couple more at this point as far as the running total.
Josh Hill works it to the right side. Now going to lose it. Right to Woolley. Woolley to Wolfle. Wolfel drops it off to John Hill outside the arc. He'll drop it off to Woolley. Woolley gets it stripped away by the Oilers and then runs right into Kevin Tharp. A foul going to be called on Woolley.
And that should be his first one of the night. Fourth one for the team.
That leaves 3:22 on the clock here on the third quarter.
Business owners all around the River Bend have been turning to Chuck West Agency for over 46 years for help with employee benefits, retirement planning, and life insurance solutions. Retirement planning is one of the most crucial concerns for business owners and employees, so let Chuck West Agency help you find sound, innovative ways to meet these challenges. Give Chuck West a call at 618-462-6880 or email info@chuckwestagency.com.
Corey with the basketball, set to throw it in for East Alton-Wood River. Gets it into Cobb, who goes right back to it. Now Corey to McElroy. He'll work it to Spurlock. Back to the right side, it's Corey. Corey into Spurlock. Thought about a jumper, but kicks it back out to Corey, and off of Corey, out of bounds. Oilers turn it over, and Colby Hall going to come back in for the Oilers. Zach Stanifer back in the ball game as well for CM.
Cobb takes a seat. Looks like he may be winded a bit.
3 minutes on the clock, third quarter. Right side of Wolfel with it. Back out top, McKinney. Stanifer. They work it back around to Wolfel. Now to John Hill. Into the corner, Stanifer with it. McKinney now, top of the key. McKinney into the lane, lets it go, and McKinney going to be able to draw the foul this time. Nice aggressive move to the hoop, and he's able to draw the foul. He'll head to the stripe here with 2:41 on the clock. 9-0 run here for CM to start the second half, and McKinney adds to it. His third point of the night. He's 3 out of 5 from the line now, so he'll have another. And he hits that one. 32-16 now. CM with the lead.
CM has not let up on that full court press much tonight. And right now they've dropped into the 3-2 zone.
McElroy with it in trouble. Back out top he goes to Corey. Corey left side, Kyle Scott. Scott to the baseline. Back out top. Here's Tharp with it. Or Corey, excuse me. Corey's shot no good. Rebound comes down to CM. McKinney down the floor, into the paint, turns around, gets it to Kruckenberg. Thought about a shot, hesitated, and that allowed the defense to close in on him, and he lost the basketball. The Oilers with it now. Here's Corey going to work the offense at the top of the key. Brandon Corey will go right side to McElroy. McElroy back to Corey. 1:45 left to go third quarter as he gets it to Kyle Scott. Scott back to Corey. And Corey going to be called for traveling. Faked one way and moved the other and called for the travel.
Want to remind our listeners, those of our listeners who are Fighting Illini fans, they're on the air tomorrow at 12 noon, straight up 12 noon. That's also when the tip-off happens, so we invite you to listen in for that one.
Right side, Wolfel going to let the three go. No good. Rebound comes down to Corey, and Scott going to pick it up. Scott pushes it down the floor. Hall with the defense closing down on him. Gets it ripped away. John Hill with the rejection there. And then Hill loses it out of bounds, so the Oilers will get it right back. Kyle Scott will grab some benches. Tharp in for him. Takes it in the backcourt. Minute 13. The Oilers still looking for their first points of the second half. Here's Colby Hall. Triple teamed. Gets it to McElroy. McElroy down the baseline, and he's going to draw the foul. And it should send him to the line with a minute 2 and a chance for the Oilers to get some points here in the third quarter.
In fact, it is a first for Kruckenberg. This may be the best shot the Oilers have had yet to put points on the board here in the second half.
McElroy at the stripe, and it rolls in and out. He'll get another try. 11-0. The Eagles have outscored the Oilers here in the second half, and it remains that way as McElroy misses a free throw, and Kruckenberg with the board works it out to Hill. Hill to McKinney, and now the Eagles cross the timeline. Oilers all over McKinney, double teaming him, gets it to John Hill. Hill fired it in the corner to Standiford and then got it back. Now Hill loses it, gets it back to Standiford, and the ball knocked around. Tharp picks it up, he loses it, and Colby Hall picks it up for him. Now Tharp gets it stripped away by McKinney. Here's Hill feeding it down to McKinney. His shot no good, but Wolfel going to clean it up. Coming down the floor.
Worked just like it does in a fast break drill, Dennis.
McElroy to Tharp. Inside they go to Spurlock, who's driving. And whistle's blown. A foul going to be called with 15.7 seconds left.
Make life easy for yourself at the United Methodist Village.
With no more stairs and no more home upkeep in a spacious apartment or villa home. With no upfront endowment and just one monthly fee, you stay in control of your finances. Now that's easy and smart. Countryside living that is fun, neighborly, and only minutes from the Clark Bridge. The United Methodist Village, where living is easy.
I only wish I'd have moved here sooner.
Here in the third quarter, 34-16 in favor of CM.
Kruckenberg now with 2 fouls. He's picked both of those up within a minute's playing time.
Corey gets it in deep to Tharp. Tharp, right side. Here's Corey feeding it inside to Colby Hall. And the pass to McElroy is stolen away by Hill. Hill down the floor off the glass and again. At the buzzer. And the CM Eagles shut out the Oilers in quarter number 3, and our score after 3, 36-16 in favor of CM. We'll be back with fourth quarter after this. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
Shop? Andy's Auto Body on Broadway in Alton.
Welcome back to CM High School. Dennis Laird alongside Doug Jenkins as we start quarter number 4. Josh Hill will work it to Standiford down to John Hill on the left side. Down low, back door, no good. Tim Kruckenberg tried the alley-oop there. Rebound comes down to Corey. And Corey at the top of the key. Loses it, but gets it right back. Looking for help. Right side, McElroy with it. Driving. Inside they go to Cobb underneath the basket. No good. One more try, and this time whistle's blowing. A foul going to be called.
And that'll be on number 21, Tim Kruckenberg, who has become quite a magnet for the fouls recently. Within the last 3 minutes of play, Kruckenberg has picked up all 3 of his.
Lucas Cobb, 10 points in the ball game, all in the first half. All the Oiler points coming in the first half until now, as Cobb finally gets a free throw to fall for the Oilers.
He breaks the ice, so to speak.
Cobb will have another. It's the first point of the second half for the Oilers.
And the second.
And the second. 36-18 the score in favor of CM. Josh Hill with the basketball. He'll go to John Hill. Right back to Josh. Josh to John. Right side. It's Wolfel with it. Wolfel coming back out toward the timeline. Shouting out of play. Right side, he'll go to Zach Standiford. Standiford back out top. Wolfel for 3. No good. Rebound Lucas Cobb. Here's Corey with the basketball for the Oilers. Kevin Tharp now between the circles. Pass inside, tipped away, but Colby Hall chases it down, works his way to the baseline. Now back out top, it's Tharp with it. He'll turn around and hand it off to Corey. Corey driving left side. Comes back up between the circles. Tharp now with it. Clock down to 6:35. Tharp into the paint. Finds Lucas Cobb off the glass and in. Excellent work there by Kevin Tharp. to get that ball to Cobb. Wolfel in the backcourt to John Hill. Wolfel gets it back. Josh Hill with it to John in the corner. Now timeout on the floor. 6:15 left to go in this ball game. 36-20 in favor of CM. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
RiverBend Chiropractic Center, the office of Dr. Stephanie Monroe, is a family wellness clinic that is conveniently located in Godfrey. Dr. Stephanie, a licensed doctor of chiropractic, is dedicated to caring for infants, children, and adults. She specializes in pediatric care, which is especially important this time of year with all the stress of backpacks and extracurricular activities like football, soccer, cheerleading, and other sports. Evening and weekend appointments are available. Please call 618-467-2744 for further information or questions.
Welcome back to CM High School. Dale Slayer alongside Doug Jenkins. 6:15 left to go in this ball game, and the Eagles have really stretched it here in the second half. Only 4 points for the Oilers.
They certainly have. They've basically doubled the output of their rivals, and it's been a bit painful if you're an East Alton-Wood River fan here during the last 8 minutes or so.
Here's John Hill taking the inbounds pass, driving to the hoop, and drawing the foul. He'll head to the free strike. Cobb called for the foul, his fourth. Hill misses the free throw.
Well, Cobb basically has been the East Alton-Wood River offense. He was the one that put those first 2 points on the board here in the second half when he finally got to the free throw line.
And Hill hits the second free throw. Here's Kyle Scott with the basketball, and he'll go across to Tharp. Now Corey back to Scott, back to Corey. Corey in the front court, gets it to Kyle Scott, will let the three go, and it's no good. A rebound comes down, Kyle Scott on the floor, gets it to Lucas Cobb. Here's Colby Hall with it at the free throw line, and he is going to be fouled. Jack McKinney going to be called for the foul.
That'll be his third, the team's eighth of the half. You may notice there's no sound of cheerleaders in the background, Dennis, and there's a good reason for that. We'll tell you after this shot.
They were busy today. Colby Hall with a free throw.
CM cheerleaders, congratulations to them. They got second at the ICC state meet, so their time away has been well spent.
Congratulations to the Eagles cheerleaders. And Colby Hall rattles the next one out. The ball loose. Corey with a save to Tharp. Here's Tharp headed up the right side. Inside they go to Spurlock. Spurlock looking for something and in trouble. Here's Josh Hill coming over the loose ball. Gets it stripped away by Scott, but gets it right back. Back he goes to John Hill, and McKinney will get it on the left side. Josh Hill with it, with Kyle Scott on him. Driving, and whistles blowing. A foul going to be called, I believe, on Kyle Scott here.
Kyle Scott is first.
First foul tonight on Kyle Scott. Here comes Wolfel back in the ball game, and Zach Standerford going to grab some bench at the 5:22 mark of quarter number 4. John Hill in the corner to Wolfel, and Wolfel comes back out top. He'll go to John Hill. Hill driving to the baseline. Finds Josh Hill in the corner. Thought about a three, and now he'll come back out top. See him maybe running a little bit of clock here. 5 minutes to go. Josh Hill to Thomas Wolfel. Back to Josh Hill. Here's McKinney. Down low, stolen away by Kyle Scott. Tried to get it to Kruckenberg. Scott trying to get it to Hall, and it's thrown away out of bounds. The Eagles get it right back.
Turnovers, again, have been fairly even. The third quarter of play, though, East Alton-Wood were committed a few more than what Civic Memorial did.
Here's Hill, McKinney, and Hill playing catch in the backcourt. Back to Jack McKinney. He'll find Kruckenberg across the timeline, trying to get it to Josh Hill, knocked away by Colby Hall out of bounds. Stop the clock at the 4:35 mark. 37-21 in favor of CM as Josh Hill gets set to throw it in and gets it to Kruckenberg. Kruckenberg drops it off to Jack McKinney. Tharp all over it. McKinney pushing him off. Now finally whistles blow and a foul going to be called.
Well, that'll be the third one on Tharp. But the crowd is wanting an over and back call.
Is third, team 6.
You can hear some of the parents barking out at the referees right now, I'm sure.
Coach Adam Miller thought McKinney pushed on Tharp. Here's Tim Krockenberg with the basketball. And they'll work it to Jack McKinney. Tharp knocks it out of his hands, but they're going to call Tharp for a foul. Ty Locks out onto the floor to talk to Jack McKinney after that one. McKinney headed to the stripe here at the 4:17 mark. He goes up 37-21. And Jack McKinney back to the line for CM.
Well, if things were not looking bleak enough for the Oilers at this point, they now have two of their starters with 4 fouls. Playing with 4 fouls are Kevin Tharp and Lucas Cobb.
McKinney hits the free throw. He's now 5 out of 7 from the line tonight. He'll have another. And 6 out of 8 on the night now as he hits them both. And free throws big this time of the ball game.
Sports, food, and good times. All this and more are waiting for you at Alton Sports Tab. Gather the crew for a night out, or better yet, bring in the whole family and enjoy the best burger or wings in town. We offer daily specials, an affordable menu, and a family-friendly atmosphere. Visit our new Caribbean-themed edition. We also have banquet and meeting rooms for your special occasion. Alton Sports Tab, serving up sports, food, and good times daily at the intersection of Route 140 and Homer Adams Parkway in Alton.
39-21 in favor of CM now.
That's 18 points difference.
Tharp at the top of the key will get it inside of Spurlock. Spurlock to Kyle Scott. Scott back out top. Tharp with it to the free throw line. Gets it stripped away. They'll try to get it to Corey, but it's stolen away by Hill. Up the floor they go. Krockenberg with it. In the corner, Josh Hill now. Josh Hill comes out top. Wolfel now. Woolley with it. Woolley looking inside. Comes out to Josh Hill. Or excuse me, that's Krockenberg. Right side, Wolfel with it. Now the ball stripped away by the Oilers, and there's Tharp headed up the floor. Tharp will lose it from behind. Whistles blow. They're going to say off. The CM player out of bounds. Here comes Shane Fensel into the ball game for the first time tonight for CM as Wolfel going to step out. 3:36 to go in this ball game.
Fensel is a 5'9" guard. He is a freshman. Freshman made the varsity team this year.
Tharp at the top of the key for the Oilers. Inside he goes to Hall. Hall in the paint. Can't get it to fall. Spurlock with the board. Back up no good. And the rebound comes down to John Hall. 3:20 to go in this ball game. John Hill up the floor. He works it down low to Krockenberg off the glass and in. 41-21, a 20-point lead now for CM as Kyle Scott gets it to Tharp at the top of the key. Tharp turns around, hands it off to Corey. Corey back to Tharp. He'll let the big three fly, and it sinks.
Tharp playing with 4 fouls gets the nice rainbow arc on that shot.
His first points of the night, and a big three from way out top. Woolley with it. Down to Krockenberg. Back out top, Josh Hill now with it. 2:37 on the clock. Woolley on the left side, back to Josh Hill. Now down around to John Hill. John comes out top to Josh, and Josh will back it off. Doing the circles, around they go to Woolley. Woolley looking down low, nothing there. Here's John Hill kicking it out to Shane Fensel. Fensel down into the corner. It's Josh Hill with it now. Hill to Woolley. Woolley inside to Krockenberg. Shane Fensel with it now. And John Hill finally going to be fouled by Brandon Corey. Minute 49 left to go in this ball game, and a 41-24 CM lead as wholesale changes is what you call this one, Doug.
Exactly. Who do we have in a ball game? Well, for the Oilers, we have number 3, that is Jason Springman. Number 10, who we don't have on our sheet at the moment. And we'll see if we can find that one.
There's the free throw by John Hill is good.
Number 32 is Bobby Spurlock. He's back in the game. He saw action earlier, as did DeTrey McElroy, number 42. And number 15, Jeremy Green in the game for the East Alton-Wood River Oilers.
John Hill hits them both. Timeout on the floor for CM with 1:49 to go. They lead 43-24 over the Oilers. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports. Welcome back to CM High School. Dennis Laird alongside Doug Jenkins. And now the Oilers with the basketball, 1:45 to play, and it's McElroy.
And wanted to give a call to Tim Garrison, who is number 10 for the Oilers.
Keep that one in mind. They work it inside to Spurlock. Outside they go. On the right side, it's Green with it. McElroy now, top of the key. McElroy. Left side. Gets it right back. And now trying to get it to Springman. It's stolen away. It's Fensel with the basketball, working it to the top of the key. To Shasheen. Now Stemek with it. To Fensel. Down to 1:05. Taylor Knight into the ball game. Touches it. Gets it right back to Fensel. Fensel to Woolley. Now to Fensel. Fensel to the free throw line. Work it back out top to Taylor Knight. Into the corner. Here's a shot on the way, and it's no good. And Spurlock going over the board. Whistle's blowing a foul call. 38.4 seconds left to go in this one. Eagles going to walk the floor here to shoot free throws. Or, excuse me, the Oilers are going to walk the floor here to shoot free throws. Spurlock headed down. Of course, the Eagles will walk with them.
Indeed, indeed. Fensel sitting down. Let's set the Eagle offense for you now. Number 15 is in there. That's Tyler Woolley. Who else do we have in? We've got, well, we'll wait and get that for you as they come back down court.
Up the right side of the floor. Here's Stemek. They'll work it inside. Back out. Shasheen with it. Here's Woolley, Tyler Woolley to Stemek. Into the corner to Shasheen. And now, foul going to be called on Bobby Spurlock with 13.5 seconds left to go in this ball game.
Foul Spurlock, his second, team 9.
All right, Spurlock picks up foul number 2.
Michael Shasheen to the free throw line.
Those in the game that we may not have mentioned much so far: Taylor Knight, Tyler Woolley, Shasheen, and Matthew Stemek.
Shasheen rattles the free throw in and out. On the rebound, traveling, going to be called on McElroy as he falls to the floor.
Some days you just feel like you can't get a break. If you're the East Alton-Wood River Oilers right now, you feel that collectively.
For sure. Here's Shasheen at the top of the key with 7 seconds to play. Taylor Knight working against Green. He'll drop it off to Tyler Woolley, and Woolley going to hold on to it till the time runs out. And the Eagles win another. 43-24 over the East Alton-Wood River Oilers. We'll be back to wrap it up after this. You're listening to 1570 Radio Sports.
RiverBender.com's coverage of this game is sponsored by St. Anthony's Health Center, Innovation, Commitment, Compassion. Gerard Fisher American Family Insurance, all your protection under one roof. First Cloverleaf Bank, we're better together. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. Weber Granite City Chevrolet. Alton Sports Tap, sports, food, and good times. United Methodist Village, where living is easy. Lisa Funk, the Riverbend's top producing broker year after year. Chuck West Agency, helping business owners for 46 years. Riverbend Chiropractic Center, dedicated to caring for infants, children, and adults. And by Andy's Auto Body, we can fix anything.